Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and we've got a very interesting show for you today. We're going to get into, some good news that's been going the way of your Seattle Seahawks. Kind of want to dive into the play of Nick Emmanwori. Then, we're going to get into more good news. I guess we're going to get into some more good news surrounding the play of another rookie on the Seahawks team. And then I thought that when you have so much good news, you might as well end the show with some more positive news for your Seattle Seahawks. We got a lot of really good news that we are going to talk about on today's show and a bunch of different avenues that the Seahawks are getting that good news. But before we dive into any of that, I want to update you on the road to 75K. You know, earlier on in the week, I said, hey, it is a race. We need to get to 75K ASAP. And right now, we are moving down the track. We are almost to just over 600 away from that 75K mark. 1,600 away. I'm bad at math. We're getting there. We got to get to 75K by the end of October. I think we can do it. Make sure you share the channel with your friends who love the Seattle Seahawks. Now, the first good news, I already kind of alluded to it, was Nick Emmanwori. For those of you who do not know, we're living under a rock. Nick Emmanwori absolutely balled out for you on Sunday against the Jacksonville Jaguars. It finally felt like he has understood his role and is playing to maybe not the max of his ability, but making sure that he's playing through the max of his potential right now in that role with the Seahawks, and that's him being used in a variety of different places, much like a Swiss Army knife. This is a great tweet here from Hawk Blogger where he goes through the run grades, the pass coverage grade, the pass rush grade for Nick Emmanwori. And I think what's most important to notice here is while Emmanwori was rated at an 84.8 overall, and that is Pro Bowl level good, it's that it wasn't just because he had one outlier stat, one stat that was so much better than everybody else or every other aspect of his game. He, as a whole, put out one of the better performances by a safety in the NFL, not just a rookie safety. I'll tell you this right now. If he's getting 70 on his pass rush grades, I'm pretty darn excited about that. And I think what's most important is you're getting shown the plan for Emmanwori this season. You saw him a little bit in the slot. You saw him a little bit as a deep safety. You saw him a little bit as almost a third linebacker, if you will. You are going to see Nick Emmanwori line up in a multitude of spots and be asked to do a multitude of things. And he is going to excel in those plans. You can see it. He was acting fast. He was reading plays, trusting his instincts, and making big-time plays. My favorite one is a Trevis ETN rush. He is a deep safety in that play, Nick Emmanwori, that is. He reads run, he runs downhill, and he makes the tackle, not quite in the backfield, but right at that line of scrimmage, only allowing ETN to get basically a yard on the play. It was very, very impressive. You are going to see this freakish athletic talent on display every single week for your Seattle Seahawks. I thought going into the year it was going to be like, hey, he's a rookie. He is freakish athletically, but you're going to use him more in big situations because he plays a big nickel. So if a team's in 12 personnel, that means you got two tight ends out there. That's when Nick Emmanwori is going to make his presence known. Well, with the way that he was covering people, you could really see that speed on full display. There's a reason why everyone was so excited when the Seahawks went in and drafted Emmanwori. And this is his draft grade or composite score from the Relative Athletic Score Company. What's most important here is notice every single piece is in green. From his height, his weight, his strength, his speed, his athletic jumping ability. And it's not just, he gets faster over time. No, he is fast right off the get. And you can see that from Emmanwori in a lot of these game situations that he's being able to play in. And we didn't get to see that from him early on because he was dealing with that ankle injury. I think he's 110% healthy right now. I've been screaming from the mountaintops. I've had a couple of you fine folks who are subscribed to the channel tell me in my DMs that you are screaming from the mountaintops as well how good Nick Emmanwori is. But I think you're also starting to see some people in important positions take notice, and they are starting to talk about the greatness that is Nick Emmanwori. I've seen a couple other experts go in and talk about, hey, look at what Seattle's doing with him. He's an athletic freak. If he continues to play like this, he can be great. And Mike McDonald had this to say as well. And I think this is the most important because it is coming from your head coach. I think anybody watching that game could feel the impact that he had on the game and also the potential impact that he can have on games moving forward. This is fantastic news because you saw, I would say, the potential. And I'd make the argument it's not even the full potential of what Nick Emmanwori can be in this defense because he's only going to get better as he ages. The quicker that he's able to identify plays before they happen, the less he's going to have to rely on that freakish athleticism. Now, is it nice to have right now while he's young? Yes, 100%. But when you get to that perfect balance of freakish athleticism, but also high football IQ from going through and doing what needs to be done more often than not, I think you're going to see Nick Emmanwori play at a level that we're talking about him not as a Pro Bowler, not as a great player in the league, not as one of the great players in the league, but potentially as one of the great franchise players in Seahawks history. He really does have that potential, and I can't wait to see him live up to it. I've got even more good news, and I want to talk to you about it here. And it's another rookie who's been playing extremely, extremely well. Zabel was the correct choice for the Seattle Seahawks with their first-round draft pick this year. He has continued to play well every single game that he has gone out on the field for your Seattle Seahawks, and he's putting himself in a place to be a cornerstone for this offense. I haven't felt this way since Steve Hutchinson was a left guard in Seattle, and we know how well that turned out for the squad. I just want to show you the last 2 weeks in our photos here of how well Zabel has been playing. Nobody is better in the rookie O-line class of 2025 than Zabel right now when it comes to pass pressures given up. He didn't allow a single pressure in week 5. And you might say, well, hey, that's impressive, but they were playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay Buccaneers don't have a lot of players that are getting in the backfield making plays. They don't have the best defense of all time. It's a little bit different look Tampa Bay team. Well, you're going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars team that has Josh Hines-Allen, and I know that's not who Zabel was going up against every single play. In fact, he might not have gone up against him more than a couple of times, handful of times. He still didn't allow a pressure rate again. Zabel is a pass pro machine in that guard spot. And I understand that he's not going up against the best pass rushers of all time. But I would raise you this. When you look at your defense, who are the best players right now getting to the quarterback? Those are the interior guys on the inside. You also go and look at his interior run blocking win ratios right now. Zabel is the top of the list. And this isn't, hey, he's the top of the list against the other rookies. No, he's at the top of the list against guys who have been in the league for years. Right now, he has more wins in the run blocking game than anybody else in the NFL, and he's doing it in less plays at times than some of these guys. Right now, what's most impressive to me about Zabel isn't that he's winning in pass pro, isn't that he's winning in run blocking, it's that he's doing both at the same time. I understand. It's not a sexy position. I'm the only one that really cares about the offensive line play. Well, me and Brian Baldinger, right? We are the guys who care about what's going on the interior. But I'll tell you right now, when this team reaches some of the heights that they possibly can, you are going to say that going out and drafting the left guard out of North Dakota State, the Bison, was one of the foundational moves for your franchise. It helped put you in a position to where not only you could win a lot of football games, but you could win a lot of playoff football games. Right now, you can only run to the left side. I'd make an argument that Zabel is just as big of a piece in that as Charles Cross. And guess what? No one gets to the quarterback through that left side. They are absolutely fantastic, and Zabel was the best piece you could have gotten in that draft. I want you to be honest, though. I've been very honest in the last segment, man. I didn't even get to talk about Torrey Horton. I didn't even get to talk about what little we've gotten to see from Robbie Hoots, but when we've seen him, he's been very good. I have been impressed with the rookies in this draft class, and I feel like John Schneider has gone out, and it's almost 2012 again. He went and found stars in the draft that nobody else wanted. What do you think about this Seahawks rookie class? Let me know down below in the comments. I have one more good news story to get to, but before I do that, I need to talk to you about the sponsor of today's show, and that is PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. If your picks are right, you could cash in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks does not hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. I got ahead of it. I already have a 2-pick power play for Sunday. Travis Kelce, more, finds the end zone. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, more, finds the end zone. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Now I want to dive into the NFC West standings because Seattle is in the middle of a dogfight right now. You're the second place team in the division, and that is because you hold the tiebreaker over the Rams currently. You guys haven't played each other yet. But San Francisco's number 1. 3 of their 4 wins are against you, the Rams, and the Cardinals. So they get to be the top dog. But the Rams are going to be right there fighting you out for that spot. It looks like it's going to be a race for that first place position in the NFC West and to get the home playoff game. But this is where I want to make sure that you understand that there is some good news for the Seahawks that even they don't control. The last 2 pieces of good news, that was all about you. You controlled that. Your players did it. With the even more good news, well, you're in a great position to make the playoffs, and there's some things that you don't control that you can take advantage of because they're going your way. It might be too early after week 6 to be looking at the playoff picture, but it's better than looking at mock drafts like a couple other guys are doing right now. So if we look at the NFC playoff picture, you're going to see that Tampa Bay, that's that 1 seed. Honestly, you're a weird couple of plays away or a defensive stop here or there. You might be in that position. But where you look, and most important, where the Seattle Seahawks, they are that 5 seed. So right now, you are the top wild card team in the NFC, which is huge. That puts you above Detroit, puts you over the Rams as well. And you're within striking distance to the San Francisco 49ers. If the playoffs started today, I feel pretty good about going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. That being said, if anyone knows how to win in the postseason, it would be them. Here's the good news that you don't control. And I want to preface this by saying we do not root for injuries. But injuries are a part of the game, and when they happen, you have to take advantage of them. The San Francisco 49ers might be the most injury-depleted team in the NFL, and they just lost their captain at middle linebacker, Fred Warner. He's done for the year. The LA Rams have the second best receiver in the NFL this season in Puka Nacua, and he is going to be out for an extended period of time. Looks like it's going to be a couple games with his ankle injury. That is going to make life more difficult for San Francisco. It is going to make life more difficult for the Rams, and you have to take advantage. If the Rams lose a couple games or the 49ers falter, which honestly, I can't believe that they're 4-2 right now with all the injuries they do have. When those teams lose, you need to win. If you can beat the Texans on Monday night and San Francisco and LA lose, you will be the top team in the division going into your bye week. When there are early season losses for teams in your division, you need to take advantage by winning. We know what an early season loss last year cost you. It cost you a playoff run. I don't think that Seattle will make the same mistake this year. And honestly, at this point, you might be able to take advantage of some injuries causing some teams to not perform as well as they probably should have. We had a lot of good news today. I'm glad I was able to share that with you. Make sure that you come in and hang out later on because today we will be live on Seahawks Today. We're going to be answering all types of questions that you have. You will not want to miss out on that. And remember to subscribe to the channel. The road to 75K starts now, and we need to see if we can get there before October ends. Until next time, I'll see you later.